Good morning, everyone. Christian Duque, MD Noble, weekly episode 29, brought to you courtesy of IronMagLabs.com, your go-to source for all your bodybuilding and fitness supplements. Check out AndroHard, topical muscle enhancement gel, available at MuscleGels.com, and be sure to check out the many great shows from Iron Mag TV in 2018. All right, welcome back, guys. It's Wednesday, January the 3rd. Happy New Year. Hope 2018 treats you marvelously. Hope you have a lot of business opportunities, a lot of happiness. Remember, keep your friends, your family, your significant others real close. After all, they are the most important people to you. Let's get started with the news. Okay, so the first thing, this Luimarco, Dave Palumbo Odyssey seems to never end. Now, you guys know the story. Louis went to RX Muscle, was really kind. He's got probably 500,000 subscribers on the low end, over 1 million on the high end. Went to RX Muscle, it's got 65,000 or so on paper. Gave Dave a great interview. They both talked about Aaron Singerman. They both had that common link, supposedly, whatnot. The next day, Luimarco made a video trying to get his subscribers over to RX Muscle, and he said, you know, magazines are dead, which they're not. Go to any newsstand, you can pick up Iron Man, MD, Flex. I mean, magazines are kicking ass. But the rhetoric is that RX Muscle rhetoric. And so, you know, Louis was parroting it and said, you know, there's a new bodybuilding press, and it's, you know, Luimarco and Nick Strength and Power and RX Muscle. He put RX Muscle in that group, I think, in the hopes that his subscribers, Louis' subscribers, would consider RX Muscle, give him a second look. A few days later, Dave Palumbo put together his Iron Debate, where he put Greg the Ramblin' Freak Valentino, John Romano, Chris Technician Aceto, Sadiq Faruqi, and did not tell Louis, much less invite Louis. And, you know, for about 60% of the time, they trashed on Luimarco. You know, Louis was livid. The next day made a response video called All Those Guys Has-Beens, which I don't think was really appropriate with Greg Valentino, but whatever. And, you know, it just got worse and worse and worse to the point that RX Muscle's videos were getting like 80% thumbs down on YouTube. So Dave went to Louis and said, hey, I'll give you another interview at RX Muscle. Louis said, no, it's got to be on my channel. So Dave goes to his channel. Louis destroys Dave, destroys him, and basically says, listen, I mean, it looks like the only way that you're getting hits is talking about me, which is something that, you know, Greg Valentino talked about on his Greg Valentino Live, Monday, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time at Iron Mag Labs on Instagram a few weeks ago, saying, Dave, how many videos are you going to do about the Rich Piana conspiracy? You know, it was getting to the point where it was really just clickbait. So, you know, Louis successfully made that point. Louis also, I don't know why, said that he saw Sean Ray in Dubai sitting down and thought that that was like weak or whatever. And Dave, who could have done something positive, because he's always talking about how positive he is, could have said, no, you know, Sean Ray and I we don't get along, but he works really hard. Or Sean Ray, you know, he's a MPC promoter or IFBB Hall of Famer, or, you know, when he was with MD, he was going everywhere. Now he's with Generation, something like that, you know. Dave said, quote, he goes everywhere and does nothing, end quote. Therefore, being as socially irresponsible as possible, telling Louis that basically Louis is on the money with his totally baseless observation that Sean Ray is somehow some bum that doesn't do any work. And now Louis is going to tell his hundreds of thousands, if not millions of subscribers that, you know, Sean is a bum. And, you know, to me, honestly, that is socially irresponsible. It's an irresponsible move on Dave's behalf. But for the rest of the interview, you know, they just went on, and you know, one thing that Dave also did that I thought was ridiculous was he told Louis, he said, well, you should come back to RX Muscle. We'll have an Iron Debate, one specially for you. We won't have people you don't respect. Now Louis does not respect Greg Valentino or John Romano because they say the F word. He did say he respected Chris Aceto because Chris was a gentleman and had converted to Islam, which I don't know what that has to do with anything, but he said that he was a gentleman. He did throw Sadiq under the bus. Dave really didn't come to his defense. Big shocker there. And in any event, you know, the idea that Dave would knock John Romano off, who's there every week, knock Greg Valentino, who's on there whenever Dave asks him, because whenever RX Muscle is, you know, on the ropes, about to pass out, Dave will go to Greg Valentino or he'll go to Boston Lloyd. And I don't know what deal he's got with Boston, but with Greg, you know, Greg doesn't get paid for that, doesn't get fuel mileage. I don't even think gets supplements all the time. He just does it because he wants to help. So instead of Dave allowing Greg to be on this future Iron Debate, after Louis calls him a has-been and says he's got oil in his arms, which Greg has never used synthol. You know, when Greg was in the game, I mean, he had access to whatever he wanted to. He didn't need cheap-ass SEOs. And he certainly never looked like the guys in Brazil or Eastern Europe, okay? So for Louis to say that, it's clearly just to get under Greg's skin, and also to say that Greg doesn't look too healthy and that he could die any month now. I mean, for Dave to say, all right, well, Greg, I already used you, so I'm going to just take you out of here. John, I'm going to take you out of here. Louis, I'm going to put a panel of people you agree with. And also, he said, we'll find an IFBB pro that meets your standards. So basically, no William Bonac. No William Bonac for Louis' iron debate. So it's not an iron debate anymore, Dave. It's an iron hand job. And it's clearly, abundantly clear that Dave just wants the hits. So, you know, it was, and the next day after that interview, Dave came out with an updates video where he re-threw Luimarco under the bus without saying the F word. So I don't know when Louis is going to learn. I mean, it looks like Dave's fucked you over twice. Why do it a third time? Louis, come on Muscular Development. Do a Ronline report. Sit down with Ron Harris, online editor-in-chief, and do a Ronline report. And I guarantee you, Ron won't fuck you over the next day. Okay, so let's move on. You know, a guess is a guess, right? Well, Nick Strength and Power saw a Mr. Olympia Sandow on sale for $10,000. And he talked about the fact that Aaron Singerman bought one a few years ago and then said, well, this other one has got to be Frank Zane. It has got to be Frank Zane. It was a guess, but he basically narrowed it down going through all the Mr. Olympias from when that new Sandow was given out. He excluded Dexter, but I think that was just like he forgot him there for a second. And he said, you know, it had to be Frank because in Frank's day, there wasn't a lot of prize money and there wasn't a lot of opportunity. And besides, he'd have another two. And it's just a guess, and that's okay. It's not socially irresponsible like Dave telling Luimarco, who's been to one bodybuilding show in his whole life and one bodybuilding expo in his whole life, that one of the hardest working bodybuilders, Sean Ray, is a bum, basically. It's not socially irresponsible like that, but it is socially responsible in the sense that it does a disservice to Frank Zane for Nick Strength and Power, who has 250,000 subscribers, highly impressionable subscribers, who, might I also add, are not the people that you see at the bodybuilding shows, that are not the people that compete in the bodybuilding shows, and that are not of the age demographic of the people that go to a lot of the established bodybuilding websites. So where I'm getting at with that, I'm not saying that your fans aren't smart. I'm just saying that your fans don't know the sport as well. And so when you, Nick, give a guess and that breakdown that you gave, and you basically say, in your opinion, that it's Frank Zane, a lion's share of your subscribers are going to parrot whatever you say. Just like a lion's share of Luimarco's subscribers will parrot whatever he says. For example, saying that Sean Ray is a bum that doesn't do anything. And he didn't use those terms, but that's exactly what he meant. So the reality of the matter is it could be anyone. It could just as well be Ronnie Coleman or Dorian or Lee Haney as it could be Frank Zane. We just don't know. And so I'm not a big fan of that guessing game, but it is what it is. So the third and final story deals with my friend PJ Braun. Now, I've always considered him an acquaintance, but after interviewing him in South Florida and talking to him more at length, I definitely consider him a friend. And he's been harassed. He's been, slandered. He's been, there's been so much that's gone on, from intentional infliction of emotional distress to tortious interference with his ability to make money with Blackstone Labs, to harassment, to making up lies. I mean, it's just been absolutely horrible. It's been slander, it's been libel, it's been complete defamation of character. And now I think because he no longer knows how to deal with this, because he can no longer ignore it, he has had a weak moment and challenged the person that is doing this to him to a fight, and has said that he's going to have his lawyers draw up some kind of an agreement where, a waiver where, that person will be barred from coming after him for medical expenses or for any other cause of action. And that's not a good way to go, because, no matter how good the agreement is, it can't shield you from, criminal prosecution. And furthermore, it's just not the way to go. The way to go is to get a lawyer, which you have, get an army of them if you can, which you do, and set them on him. Be it slander, be it libel, be it tortious interference, be it intentional infliction of emotional distress, any number of things. And, a lot of these cases are very difficult to get big awards, big damages awards, but not impossible. And if you're suing for principle, which is why I think you would be doing it, then it's worth it. And that'll do it for another episode of MD No Bull Weekly with Christian Duque, brought to you courtesy of MuscleGels.com and IronMagLabs.com, your go-to source for all your bodybuilding and fitness supplements.